Hopper, do you think it's worth paying all these high-level celebrities to come in and voice these actors or these characters in Invincible? Or do you think that money would have been spent somewhere else better?
Ideally, they just get a higher budget and they can do
Both.
whatever they want because they're Amazon Studios and they have unlimited money. But no, I agree. I think it's a little weird that they insist on having such high-profile actors in like bit parts. Mm-hmm. That's the weird part to me.
Because they're not in there a lot.
No.
So we'll see Powerplex probably at the beginning of season 3 after the events of the next 2 episodes.
Probably.
Because that's when he shows up trying to fight again. Are they going to have Aaron Paul back in here?
Yeah, I assume so.
And that's the thing, though. Like, I may be in the minority. I haven't really gotten a general consensus yet from online. But I don't think he was that impressive as Powerplex to warrant whatever he was paid when that money could have gone to animation.
I think he was good. I mean, he conveyed the right emotions. He kind of gave you that late stage Breaking Bad where like Jesse Pinkman's breaking down and Breaking Bad and breaking his back in the I don't know. No, he does a lot of screaming and crying in the last couple seasons of Breaking Bad, which is good, and that's kind of what Powerplex does. But I don't know that you get like the husband vibe. Yeah, it all just seems. I mean, you know, it is what it is, and it is all encompassing. His kind of grief and his rage. I think he did fine. I just don't think, I don't think I would have picked him specifically for that role.
And we've had this argument for the whole of this season right now.
Yep.
I've seen it brewing in the background about where you put the budget for the show. And I've never really been one to put my weight into it until you get someone like Aaron Paul in here, because that's one of the, like, oh, Aaron Paul's coming to Invincible. And then you get it, and me, myself, just not being impressed with the performance, and then hearing all of the... Because the animation could be better.
Could be, yeah.
Like you, though, I'm in it more for the story than the animation. I would appreciate the animation being better, But this is really where I'm like, okay, so we've got bad animation, and then Aaron Paul giving a mediocre performance. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I know you feel different. I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with it.
I just think, personally, it's one note, I guess. Whereas, like, Powerplex in the comics does have some more lighthearted stuff with his wife and his child, and that makes it all the more sour when everything goes down with all that. We'll do some spoilers later, but if you're not watching the show, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, anyway, but I think it was a little too one note in my opinion, but it was good overall.
Yeah. So with that being said, welcome back to the Binge Warmers. My name is Steven.
My name is Hopper.
Last episode was about Mark fighting the dragon for the prison. Highlight comment from that episode brought to you from
Lone Mateo 1964, again, back on the channel. They made Mark too strong too early. I think I'd like to see some of the strength.
Yeah, I hear that comment and I go, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know.
I do think he's the strongest of the Guardians of the Globe, but they're all getting their ass kicked. You know what I'm saying?
All the time. It's almost like a thing with this show. Like, everyone kind of sucks.
Yeah. There's this big theme of, like, the Earth is incapable of protecting itself.
Yeah.
Whether it be from Kraken sea monsters or, like, underground centipedes or, like, a super imposing alien invasion.
Yeah. And it brings it to light, because we see this jumping into the new episode, though. Thank you for that comment. Because of how much Earth is threatened and because of how much they can't protect it, they need Mark. So like the lady says, we can't take him to court. We can't sue him. If he's in jail, who's going to protect the Earth? Like, yeah, it sucks that those people died and he was a part of it. A lot more would have died if he didn't try to stop it. And a lot more will die if we lock him up and stop him from doing his job.
Yeah. I actually really like this character Powerplex because it's very, I would say, realistic. I mean, no one has those powers in real life. I like the character Powerplex because it's very realistic, where it's almost like someone going kind of loony after like a big depressive event happens. Spoilers, I guess, for this episode. All I can say is I'm sorry is the name of the episode. The character of Aaron Paul, Powerplex, his name is like something Duvall.
Mike Duvall?
Powerplex, he loses his sister and his niece.
Yes.
In the Chicago aftermath.
Yeah, and they do a good job of showing those two people that Mark tried to save. It turned out to be them. I don't think they did that in the show or in the comics.
They don't necessarily look very similar, but I guess it's smart that they pull it together.
Yeah. But it's definitely a realistic thing. If your family died in that Chicago tragedy and you see one of the people that caused it being there, of course you're going to be angry about it.
I think it kind of devolves as well, because he probably blamed Omni-Man at first and thought it was horrible, and then eventually he was like, well, Mark was there too.
Yeah.
And Mark like had her hand in his hand, or had his arm in his hand, or whatever. Was it leg or arm? Or?
It was her arm.
And so he had that kind of, I think he just kind of linked those two images of like, this is his fault.
Yeah.
And it's almost irrational.
Well, it's also the fact that Omni-Man's gone.
Yeah.
He can blame Omni-Man all he wants. He can't actually physically do anything with Omni-Man. So he goes to the next person he can actually put his rage out on, and that's Invincible.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where we get his character and his obsession. Like his whole life is now about taking Invincible to court, and then the lawyer basically says like no. Yeah. And then he gets his wife to help him kind of implant these GDA things on his back and everything.
Yeah, the wife too, she's so ready. She's like a ride or die.
Yeah.
She's like, that was my sister-in-law, that was my niece.
Yeah.
We're taking this bitch out, She spits on Mark when he tries to break her out.
She feigns like the victim, like Powerplex acts like he's going to kidnap this lady and her child, and then it's actually just, she's just playing along essentially.
And then we also see the issue. There's several times I feel like Powerplex would have given up.
Yeah.
And then the wife goes, but no, we have this idea, we have this idea. Don't give up now. We're this close, you know what I mean? So it's really crazy to see that it's not just him. His wife is just as much in this, even though she ultimately becomes a victim of this anger.
Yeah.
It's brought on not only by Powerplex, but by herself too.
It kind of goes to show you too, like, forgive and forget. I know it's terrible and it's hard to forgive and forget, but it's not Mark's fault.
Yeah.
So just by the fact that, there's nothing that can be done, it's just something you got to live with and kind of move on. And if you hold on to that anger and that resentment, it's going to result in more death, really. I mean,
like
especially
your
son and your wife, dude.
Wild that they put that picture on, or the dead kid on screen. I was like, they put that on the TV?
This is pretty true to the comic, I think.
Yeah.
It's very much shocking imagery some of the time.
It's frustrating seeing that anger that should have been directed at Nolan be directed at Invincible, especially because you have Oliver in this episode questioning, like, oh, well, Dad's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's turned his ways around. It's like, there's people dead in Chicago because of him.
Yeah.
Mark's actively being threatened on his life because of what your dad did.
Yeah.
I get it, Oliver, and I get it to an extent. We've seen that Nolan is trying to turn it around. Quit acting like they're hating him for no reason, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oliver comes out as this like, oh, everyone misunderstands Dad. He killed thousands of people.
What about, I like the argument that maybe he saved more than he killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did hear that, but then like Mark said, no amount of saving takes away from the fact. Like if it, like Mark, it's different because Mark is like, he saved a lot more people than have died on his watch.
Sure.
He didn't maliciously kill those people though.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nolan killed those people on purpose.
And it was because he was planning to take over the thing and he needed Mark to understand kind of humanity means nothing. I'm going to kill all these people with your body and stuff.
Yeah, like you saved that fighter pilot for what? Crushes his head.
Yeah.
See, he's dead. Look how weak he is.
Yeah.
So it is different, and I get it because Nolan. I really like Nolan. I've read ahead in the comics. I like his story progression. Oliver's just got to realize though, you can't forgive a mass murderer that easily.
It's also funny too. He's like, well, I guess because of my threats in biology, I can remember everything that's happened. And I'm like, bro, it's been like maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna remember that. It just happened.
Well, I think also as a baby, you don't usually remember anything regardless.
No, I know, but it's just it's like that was 2 weeks ago. Of course you remember.
Yeah. I see where Oliver is coming from, but at the same time, it's like, bro, like we're at the funeral memorial thing. He was like, all these people hate Dad. Yes, that's why they're here. Yeah. What do you mean they hate Dad? Yes, of course they do.
What about the Powerplex not getting Invincible right away? By the way, the title card like scared me this time. It was like
because it kept flashing.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah, I loved Shapesmith showing up.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. Des goes, "Is he dead?" And he goes, "It's Shapeshift. It's Shapeshift or Shapesmith. I can't even remember him." I think he's just such a funny character, dude.
The cop was like, he killed one of the Guardians of the Globe. Like that just shows you like how pitiful that group is right now. There's nothing to like,
Yeah.
They don't even know the guy's name. It's just pathetic. Like,
It's
really.
so awful. Oh, but yeah, it is because you see that in the comics too. He doesn't immediately get Invincible,
Yeah.
And Invincible Mark's at the bowling alley with his friends and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have to be a superhero every day. Let someone else handle it.
Yeah. What about Amber coming back with her ex or her new boyfriend?
I wonder if it's the same boyfriend from the comics or they'll even address that.
I think they will. I think there's no reason to have Amber back without having that extra plot line.
Yeah.
And we've already seen they're doing stuff different. Like I don't think William and Amber were friends in the comics past. Whenever Mark broke up with
William like disappeared for like almost an entire omnibus.
I think that's smart. They're smart to be giving Mark like extra friends and the cast of his life without having to
like we
just
said,
have the Guardians.
it's widening the scope of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do like that. I do like that it wasn't awkward or anything. They act like it may be, and then William even said, "Bro, we're friends. You're an adult. Just don't make it weird."
He says, "Well, she's an adult."
Yeah. No, I like it.
Okay, so just to kind of prove my point that it doesn't matter who's voicing a character, I'm going to give you a character, and I want you to see if you can guess the celebrity's name.
Okay.
And you've watched the show, you've done reviews on the show.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if you, the average viewer, like more than average viewer, can pick out whose voices are in these characters, and if that would impact your enjoyment of the show or not.
Okay.
So first up, Mark.
Stephen Yin.
Yep. What about Debbie?
Something Cho.
No.
It's Sandra Oh.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Great actress. Now those are pretty easy since they've been in every episode so far.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more difficult. Who voices Amber?
I don't know.
Zazie Beetz. You know Zazie Beetz?
Mm-mm.
She's like in Deadpool 2. She's Domino, I think.
That's Amber?
Yeah, and she was also in
She's in Atlanta.
Bullet Train. Oh yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who voices Oliver?
Couldn't tell you.
Christian Convery. Convery?
Who's that?
He's the kid from Sweet Tooth. He was also in something else recently. He was in like the Cocaine Bear movie.
Oh, really?
He's like a kind of up-and-coming child actor.
Yeah.
Why? You could pick an adult woman to do that voice, and it would be the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about Paul, Debbie's boo thing?
Couldn't tell you.
Cliff Curtis. He's sort of a popular TV actor.
He sounds familiar.
Yeah, you'd recognize him if you saw him.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too. People can argue, oh, well, Paul's not that important, or Amber wasn't that important. First of all, Amber, a huge character in the first season and the second season. Paul, sure, maybe not as important as Powerplex, but we see Paul a whole lot more than we see Powerplex.
Yeah.
You know? And you're paying for Aaron Paul to be in 2 movies?
Well, you're
episodes?
paying for Cliff Curtis as well. I mean, he's an actor. He's not Aaron Paul status.
Him a lot less, so.
Yeah, maybe so. They could, but my point is, they've already got voice actors on cast. Just get a voice actor to do the voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Powerplex is
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Who voices Eve?
I don't remember her name, but I know who she is. She played in Community.
Gillian Jacobs. I love her.
Gillian Jacobs.
She does do some good voice work, and I think she actually stands out. And also, like just to say, Sandra Oh and Stephen Yeun are very good.
Yeah.
They're very good. I think I wouldn't trade them out if I could.
Absolutely.
They actually are genuinely like really pulling their weight. Yeah. So is Eve. Like so is Gillian Jacobs. Who voices not Rudy, because Rudy is a voice actor. Who voices the robot suit?
It's Immortal.
No. That's the same guy who voices Rudy, the human. Who voices the suit of the robot suit, the drone?
Who?
Zachary Quinto from the Star Trek movies, and he was also in like American Horror Story and stuff. Great voice, but he's in it. He maybe says a line in an episode, maybe.
Yeah.
And y'all wanted a celebrity for that?
Yeah.
Who voices Rex Explode?
Oh, I know him. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's in the Good Place. Yep. He's eating like a martini of just olives.
He's in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's in like The League. He's been in like I think consistently he's been in like every comedy show, every sitcom in the past like 20 years.
I can't tell you his name though.
Jason Mantzoukas.
I really like him. Greek.
Yeah.
I want to say Radajowski, but that's some lady.
Yeah. I think he actually does a good job as Rex, because Rex is sort of a funny character, but there's a surprisingly amount of depth to Rex, especially from this actor. Like you wouldn't have expected that, honestly.
Yeah, he does really well with Rex.
Yeah. So last one is Shapesmith.
I don't know.
Ben Schwartz, voice of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Ben Schwartz plays Shapesmith?
Yeah.
Oh, you told me that before because you said the race car bit.
Yeah, and also what's funny is in our DC casting video where we talked about James Gunn should put these characters in his movies, I pitched that Ben Schwartz should be
Plastic Man?
Plastic Man.
No way.
Anyway, there's some non-voice actors in this, and they do incredible as well. Greg Delisle is Monster Girl.
Yes.
There's a very touching scene where Rex builds the belt and everything. Zachary Quinto,
Rudy.
the literal celebrity. What?
Rudy.
What? Who?
The belt.
Yes. What did I say?
Rex.
Well,
yeah, you know.
He becomes Rex.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So, but the robot drone says it sells de-age by 24 hours.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, that could be an AI voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't endorse AI voices, but it could have been a robot sounding AI voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's true. All the money you're giving these people to say one line.
We paid Spock from Star Trek to come and say this shit.
Yeah. That's crazy, actually.
The elephant is John DiMaggio. You got a very talented voice actor who will work for scale, and he's got maybe 2
He
lines.
can have half these voice lines.
Yeah. Also, the kid that plays Oliver, he already sounds different. I saw an interview with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good in Invincible. I like that show a lot. It's really fun to play Oliver, the 10-year-old." You know.
I love that, dude. That's
Anyway,
awesome.
point being, if you're as casual as that, and you've done reviews of the show and actively are into its development and stuff, does the random person care who's voicing these characters? No.
I would say they care on the surface.
They care about the big characters, maybe.
They hear Aaron Paul and they go, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this." Then they don't. Which one's Aaron Paul?
Yeah.
You know, they'll watch it because they hear Aaron Paul. They won't tell you which one is Aaron Paul.
Yeah. And another thing too, like they've been marketing it heavily around their cast because they spent so much money on it.
Yeah, they're like, "Please watch this. We spent so much money on these actors."
I just don't understand. I mean, I guess no, I understand. I get it, and that's just like the standard quality of like movie animation. Regular like TV shows that are doing animation can't do celebrity voice acting every week. You see Bob's Burgers, they might get like here's a guest appearance from like Aziz Ansari or like I don't know whoever. Billy Eichner is the librarian right now. You know, it's just like a one-off character for that little guest star. That's fine. You know, it's a sitcom. You kind of got to switch it up a little bit. It's fun, but they're not getting like fucking big huge Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad to come in and do a spot. You know?
No, not at all.
Anyway, I just feel like it's sort of mishandled. Granted, I do enjoy it. Like I thought this was maybe my favorite episode of the season because it was so emotional.
Yeah,
it was very like
so
far.
These next 2 episodes.
Ooh, get ready.
They're gonna be fun, dude.
Ready.
The fact that we get them both in one season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What a time to be alive.
Season 4 is gonna be incredibly, incredibly tense, I guess.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Woo. But yeah. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments about the voice acting situation, the budget for the animation. We already know most people don't like the animation, but do you think we're spending too much on voice actors? Do you think we just need a bigger budget overall? I think that's the best way to approach it.
I would also like to know if that's the reason why their animation budget has been cut. Because they put it all into the voice cast, or if it is just because other factors. Maybe they don't give it as much of a budget anyway.
Yeah. And I know it's being made with a lot of heart.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the people, like Kirkman is really big into it. Seth Rogen, they're loving making this show.
Yeah.
It's just like where you're putting the money could be probably put somewhere else.
A lot of personality.
Let's get some more money in there.
Yeah.
Let's support this show more, you know? Why is there no toy sales or anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, is there toys available? I haven't seen
I don't think
toys.
so. I think because it's marketed more for an older
people. I mean, older audiences buy like the Marvel Legends.
Yeah, let's get some merch. Let's support the show so you can get more money. Prove to Amazon and the big wigs that people like this show enough that you should give us more of a budget.
It just blows my mind that Amazon, of all people, seemingly has trouble with the budget of the animation.
Especially when you add ads to the paid Amazon Prime. That's
Seriously,
$200 a fucking year.
Greed. Where's my eggs? Why are they $7 a piece?
Where's my electric car, Bruce? But yeah, let us know down in the comments down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Send this out to all your friends. You know, we love covering these episodes by episode. Last video didn't do as well as we wanted, so go give that one some love if you haven't watched it.
If you want to discuss the show a little bit further with us, we got a Discord in the description as well.
Absolutely.
Come and find us on there.
Yep, and then I go live twice a week streaming Ghost of Tsushima right now, so be sure to come in there and show some love. And we'll see you guys next week.